NBC News reporter says Biden's apparent nap is political obstacle, reminds viewers he keeps long hours. An NBC News reporter worked to find excuses Monday for President Joe Biden's apparent cat nap during speeches at the 2021 United Nations Climate Change Conference. Biden, who warned military service members this summer that top Pentagon officials consider climate change to be the greatest threat to America's national security in the coming years, sat with his arms crossed, looking like he was drifting in and out of sleep. In a viral video shared by Washington Post reporter Zach Purser-Brown, MSNBC host Andrea Mitchell welcomed NBC News senior White House reporter Kelly O'Donnell to her program to explain what happened in the video that also featured Biden wiping his eyes. He was seen on camera with his eyes closed. It appears that perhaps he was dozing. O'Donnell told viewers, "In these settings, cameras are all around." The camera caught President Biden, who turned 79 later this month, with his eyes closed for a period of time, and you're right, these can be embarrassing situations. O'Donnell added to the liberal MSNBC audience that Biden has stressed the importance of the climate change meetings that might have put him to sleep. A moment like that in a session can be a political obstacle, O'Donnell said before attempting damage control. It is also true that the hours are long, the time differences are real, and the president has kept a rigorous schedule over several days, having lots of meetings, appearances, and speeches, she said. And quite a late night last night. Former President Donald Trump has long referred to his political rival as Sleepy Joe, and Monday's video presumably won't help make that nickname go away anytime soon. The NBC News reporter said the White House hadn't responded to her regarding that moment caught on camera, but that's one of those things that will certainly be captured, criticized by some and noted by others. O'Donnell said, "When you're the leader of the free world, whenever you're in public, those moments are seen and scrutinized regardless of all of the circumstances." Before the segment wrapped, O'Donnell made sure viewers were aware that Biden has been working hard. He flew this morning from Italy to Scotland and has a busy schedule. She said, anti-Biden rallying cry "Let's go Brandon" causes mainstream media meltdown. Corporate media and liberal reporters have come together, united in a common cause, as everyone from allegedly neutral reporters to far-left pundits have gone nuclear in an attempt to shut down three words: "Let's go Brandon." The phrase became an internet sensation last month after an NBC reporter at a NASCAR Xfinity Series race incorrectly reported that fans in the stands were chanting "Let's go Brandon" following a victory by driver Brandon Brown, when they were really shouting "F.K. Joe Biden." Memes, jokes, and comments immediately began to spread across the internet, posted by users mocking NBC's coverage during the interview. The "F.K. Joe Biden" chants, which began at some large sporting events across the country as the president's poll numbers sagged, have now been replaced in some venues with "Let's go Brandon" chants. This is, I think, a witty and funny viral take on the media's dishonesty that they tell us something that is clearly not true that we can see with our own eyes, and that is why I think it's so popular with so many people. Outkick founder Clay Travis said on Monday during America's Newsroom, but the chant's popularity has infuriated the left, resulting in an onslaught of angry tweets, columns, and hot takes from liberal pundits. NPR labeled the term vulgar, and CNN's Edward Isaac-Dover was so offended by the phrase that he called it an inside joke, telling the President of the United States to perform a sexual act on himself. Washington Post reporters Ashley Parker and Carissa Wolf wrote on what they considered vitriol from Biden critics in a piece titled "Biden's Critics Hurl Increasingly Vulgar Taunts." The article claimed the current eruption of anti-Biden signs and chants, however, is on another level, far more vulgar and widespread than anything seen in previous administrations. CNN has also complained about the chant on air when political analyst Maggie Haberman, who is also a New York Times reporter, spoke somberly about South Carolina Republican Congressman Jeff Duncan wearing a mask with the "Let's go Brandon" phrase on it. "There's nothing serious about this. This is literally done so that he will get attention. And it's working. It's just that it involves being on the House floor, which once upon a time was supposed to be something more of a respected space, and a space that was treated differently," Haberman said on New Day. Also on New Day, CNN's John Evelyn called the chant trollish and not patriotic. An Associated Press reporter even admitted to nearly getting kicked off a plane when a pilot on a Southwest flight from Houston to Albuquerque allegedly signed off his announcement for passengers by saying, "Let's go Brandon." The possibility of a pilot using the term caused reporters to hyperventilate. Vulgarity stand-in from its Southwest air cockpit, Washington Post editor Kathleen Decker wrote while AP's Colleen Long nearly got kicked off the flight. TFW, you're trying to go on vacation and then the pilot says the very thing you're working on over the loudspeaker. And you have to try to get him comment but then almost get removed from plane. Long wrote Saturday. Wilbunch, an opinion columnist for the Philadelphia Inquirer, declared he would never fly Southwest again, and CNN analyst Asha Rangappa compared the pilot to an ISIS sympathizer. As an experiment, I'd love for an Southwest air pilot to say "Long live ISIS" before taking off. My guess is that when the plane would be immediately grounded, to the pilot fired. And 3, a statement issued by the airline within a matter of hours. She tweeted, Sen. Ted Cruz, our Texas, responded to her post by saying, CNN is deranged, and no, as a factual matter, supporting genocidal religious zealots is not the same as disagreeing with the current president. Cruz posted, liberals spent years applauding and celebrating vulgar rhetoric aimed at former President Donald Trump. Robert De Niro once received a standing ovation from the glamorous Hollywood crowd attending the Tony Awards by simply uttering, F.K. Trump. Critics of Trump also threatened to blow up the White House, posed with a mock severed head of the former president, and celebrated his fictional assassination in an adaptation of Shakespeare's Julius Caesar. Journalist Mark Hemingway took notice of the hypocrisy and mocked the left on Twitter. The Let's Go Brandon angst is really something. You don't get to spend decades normalizing the profane and politicizing every public square and then pretend decorum has been breached when you hear something you don't like in an inappropriate setting. Hemingway wrote, DeSantis rips Biden for potential $450 K payments to illegal immigrants. Slap in the face. Florida Gov. Ron DeSantis ripped President Biden over reports that the administration is considering paying $450,000 to illegal immigrants who were separated from their families at the border under the Trump administration, calling the move a slap in the face to every hard-working American. The Sunshine State governor said he was very concerned regarding reports of the potential payments as Americans struggle with rising energy and grocery costs. You've had all kinds of really bad policies throughout our country that has limited freedom, DeSantis said Friday, and you're going to turn around for that and you're going to do $475,000 for an individual that came illegally to this country. I've seen a lot in my day. I've seen a lot that's happened over the last 9 or 10 months that I didn't think I'd ever see. But this takes the cake. The governor continued, if that is done, that is going to be a slap in the face to every American who works hard and plays by the rules, and it will especially a slap in the face to people that have immigrated legally to this country. He added, that should not be allowed to stand. It's wrong, and whatever we can do in Florida to fight back against it, we will do. The payments to migrants, if carried out, would likely exceed the payments given to some families of 9/11 victims and Gold Star families. Critics quickly noted that it would be more than payments received by the families of those who lost loved ones in military service. The death gratuity is a single, tax-free payment of $100,000. In addition, there is a life insurance program, the Service Member Group Life Insurance, but that maxes out at $400,000 and requires service members to have paid into it. Meanwhile, advocates for 9/11 victims and their families said in a statement that the news was a shock to them given they are trying to persuade Congress and the administration to fund payments for those who they say were wrongfully kept from compensation. Republicans have hammered the Biden administration since reports of the potential payments first surfaced. 45 House Republicans, including House Minority Whip Steve Scalise of Louisiana, GOP Caucus Chair Rep. Elise Stefanik of New York and Texas Rep. Dan Crenshaw signed onto a letter led by North Carolina Rep. Greg Murphy demanding answers on the reported payments, promising tens of thousands of dollars to those who unlawfully entered the United States would not only reward criminal behavior, but it would surely send a message to the world that our borders are open and our rule of law will not be enforced. The letter warned. The White House did not immediately respond to Fox News' request for comment.